Happy New Year's, my fellow philosophers, and welcome back to the Philos-Hippie, where we explore the intersection between philosophy and spirituality, and how we can lead more holistic and meaningful secular lives. Today's episode of the podcast is just a short reflection I've had over the past week or two, as 2025 comes to an official close. It's wild to me personally that we are already a quarter of a century through the new millennium, and because of that, it's caused me to reflect a lot about that and the concept of New Year's in general. Personally, New Year's is one of my favorite holidays of the year because it's the most philosophical and contemplative holiday of the entire year. New Year's is a yearly ritual that literally spans back millennia, in which everyone takes a moment in the dead stillness of winter and engages in deep reflection over the past year in order to ponder and make personal resolutions to themselves as to how they can improve the quality of their lives and those around them. I think this is quite beautiful and emblematic of humanity as a whole. However, I can't deny that our modern conception of New Year's resolutions just feels a little shallow and empty to me. It has become so cliche and boring, honestly, to talk about New Year's resolutions in the form of accomplishing external goals like losing weight, quitting smoking, saving more money, and more stuff like that. This isn't inherently a bad thing, but we should always encourage people to accomplish their goals. But the reason why so many people fail their New Year's resolutions and just feel so ashamed of themselves because of it is because their resolution wasn't based on a foundation of personal transformation. In the past, New Year's was a profoundly spiritual and religious event in which people would make promises to their gods and would recommit themselves to the higher paths they stumbled off of sometime during the year. In ancient Rome, for example, citizens would make vows to the Roman god Janus, the two-faced god of beginnings, endings, and transitions, with his face constantly transfixed towards the past and the future. Quick fun side note, Janus is where we get the month January from in our calendar, so hey, there's that. Anyways, these vows to Janus would entail people reflecting on how they can live more virtuously and deliberate as to how they want to shape their character for the better. In the modern age, we have deluded ourselves into believing that we can accomplish our goals without first transforming our character and mindsets. And since we don't live in an era of paganism anymore, I thought it'd be prudent to find inspiration as to how we can reinstill this ancient mode of New Year's resolutions, but from a more modern lens. And of course, this inspiration was derived from Friedrich Nietzsche, yet again in this podcast. He is one of Western philosophy's only philosophers to have written directly on the topic of New Year's resolutions. And while he references it only once in his aphorism from the Gay Science, he offers a vastly different perspective on New Year's that I think we can find insight from in our modern age. In section 276 of the Gay Science, Nietzsche wrote, quote, "For the new year, I'm still alive. I still think. I must still be alive because I still have to think. Sum ergo cogito, cogito ergo sum. I am, therefore I think. I think, therefore I am," in Latin. Today, everyone allows himself to express his dearest wish and thoughts. So I, too, want to say what I wish for myself today, and what thought first crossed my heart, what thought shall be the reason, warrant, and the sweetness of the rest of my life. I want to learn more and more how to see what is necessary in things, as what is beautiful in them. Thus, I will be one of those who make things beautiful. Amor Fati. Let that be my love from now on. I do not want to wage war against ugliness. I do not want to accuse. I do not want to even accuse the accusers. Let looking away be my only negation. And, all in all, and on the whole, someday I want only to be a yes-sayer." End quote. Now, I really resonate with this passage because it still captures that ancient spirit of radical character transformation without feeling the need to devote ourselves to God or gods in the process. That's the genius behind so much of Nietzsche's philosophy. He's able to secularize spiritual matters in a way that invigorates us and induces us to live life with such deep intensity while stomping away at nihilism in the process. But let's break down this passage in deeper analysis. Nietzsche is writing this at the start of the new year in 1882, but his New Year's resolution isn't what we typically think of it as. He isn't trying to accomplish some external goal, but is seeking to fundamentally change the way he existentially relates to all reality. Amor Fati means love of fate in Latin, and for Nietzsche, This means loving everything that befalls him: bliss and suffering, peace and anxiety, ecstasy and misery, and deeming it all as absolutely necessary for life. He doesn't want to wage war against ugliness and accusers, because that would mean he is restricting himself away from the totality of all life. Viewing life in moralistic dichotomies of good and evil prohibits Nietzsche and all of us from transmuting suffering into a call for greatness. Nietzsche later writes in his autobiography, Ecce Homo, that, quote, "My formula for greatness in a human being is Amor Fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity, not merely bear what is necessary, still less conceal it, but to love it," end quote. This idea of loving our fate is crucial for Nietzsche's doctrine of the eternal recurrence. Eternal recurrence is a challenge set upon us by Nietzsche, to live life in such a way that we yearn to live it in the exact same manner all over again. That means we love every relationship, every heartbreak, every birth and every death of those we care for, in repetition for all eternity, without wanting to change it in any detail whatsoever. I think that embracing this attitude of Amor Fati, ironically enough, can actually help us to accomplish whatever external goals we deem worthy of our time. We will inevitably fail to accomplish all of our goals because death is always near approaching. But by loving our fate to this degree of intensity, it will naturally motivate and inspire us to live greater lives, one worthy of being repeated for all eternity. This perspective also reframes all of our past resolutions and failures to reach our goals in the new light. Instead of wallowing in despair and regret over not achieving the New Year's resolutions you desire, Amor Fati helps us to recognize that every misstep, every mistake we make was fated to happen and was all a part of the process in our natural growth and development. So, what do you think? Does reframing our New Year's resolutions from accomplishing external goals to reframing our existential mode of being produce real character development and change in us, the one that we seek to aspire to? Can Amor Fati help us to live the lives of greatness we all aspire to when we envision the new year ahead? Let me know in the comments below, and also tell me what you're most excited about the new year ahead. Also, let me know if you're planning on making any New Year's resolutions this year. Personally, I can't resist creating a goal for myself for the year, so alongside trying to cultivate this attitude of Amor Fati, I'm also going to try to ramp up production on this channel, so expect to see a lot more of me throughout the year because I am officially out of hiatus. And also let me know if there's any content that you'd like to see me explore on this channel. In the meantime, I wish you well as you embark upon this new year, and I hope you won't just carpe diem, seize the day, but rather carpe annum, seize the year. And in the meantime, I'll see you next time. Peace. I can't feel my fucking hands! But man, it's below freezing, but man, I had to get that shot and look at that sunrise. Oh my goodness, that was so worth it. I'll see you next time, y'all.